At 7, my name is Olivia Bowen, presenting stories topping the headlines. Despite huge public criticisms, President George Weah nominates a Deputy Finance Minister, Samura Wolokoli, as Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority to replace the late Thomas Doe Nye. A Liberian clergyman and founder of the Destiny Recovery Program wants the incoming Unity Party's administration to declare the drug epidemic in Liberia as a national emergency. Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction threatens a series of protests in Nimba after National Elections Commission fails to impartially settle the election dispute case in District Number 4. And away from Liberia, the BBC says Israel will appear before the International Court of Justice to contest South Africa's accusation of genocidal acts in Gaza. Those were the headlines, not the news in detail. President George Weah has nominated Zamora Wolokoli Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority. According to an executive mansion release, the appointment made last year is subject to confirmation by the Liberian Senate as required by the Liberian Constitution. Samora Wolokoli is the current Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs at the Ministry of Finance for Development Planning, a position he has been occupying since the inception of CDC's administration in 2018. If confirmed, Wolokoli will replace the late Thomas Doe Nye, who occupied the position since 2020, and that last month following a period of illness. The latest appointment comes following huge criticisms from the public and political pundits about the nomination of Justice Minister Musadin to the Supreme Court by President Weah. Some politicians, including Senator Prince Johnson, have termed these last-minute nominations as untimely and only intended to undermine the agenda of the incoming Unity Party's administration. These nominations also violate recent presidential directive issued by the executive mansion placing moratorium on new employment in government, promotion of officials, amongst others. However, others, including legal pundits, have argued that it is the president's constitutional right to appoint and that the Constitution is above all other laws in the country, including presidential directives. The founder of the Destiny Recovery Program has called on the incoming Unity Party's administration to declare the drug epidemic as a national emergency. Reverend Jerry Sawe said narcotic drugs are destroying the young people and endangering the future of Liberia. He wants the government to invest in the fight against illicit drugs in the country and appoint competent and qualified people with integrity to head institutions responsible to combat drugs. The Liberian clergyman at the same time underscored the need for support and empowerment of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency to effectively deliver on its mandate of eliminating illicit drugs. Reverend Sawe also wants the government to establish a national rehabilitation aimed at getting the young people of Liberia off drugs and have them reintegrated into society. He is at the same time calling on the government to strengthen and subsidize private institutions like the Destiny Recovery Program that is currently into rehabilitation of disadvantaged youths in the country. The National Youth League of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction has threatened a series of protests if the National Elections Commission fails to impartially settle the election dispute case in District Number 4, Nimba County. According to MD Ira Youth League, the protest action is to demand the National Elections Commission to do justice in the District Number 4 Nimba County case between incumbent Representative Gombu Kagon and MD Ira candidate Ernest Mencia. The group made specific reference to the Belekle Public School, where Mencia had obtained 59 votes, but the National Elections Commission official website allegedly has 2 votes, while Representative Kagon's 17 votes in Senle Public School was increased to 27, something they said were captured and reported to the election magistrate in the county. Speaking at a press conference Tuesday in Monrovia, MDR National Youth League Chairman Ziza Pale lamented that the NEC has consistently ignored their complaints, accusing the electoral body of wanting to thwart results of the elections in favor of Representative Kagon. Meanwhile, the MDR Youth League is calling on the National Elections Commission to implement the findings submitted to Upper Nimba County Magistrate Milton Pay, local and international observers after the investigations. The findings, amongst other things, noted that the outstanding 59 votes from the records of count belongs to candidate Ernest Mencia. Cesar Pale said the findings also furthered that the votes were inadvertently transferred to another candidate of the same electoral district, number 4. A campaign seeking to prioritize members of the Unity Party for appointed positions in the incoming government has begun in Maikibi County. The campaign, which was announced over the weekend, is being led by a stalwart of the Unity Party in Maikibi County, Stanley Human. In his pronouncement, Human clarified that the campaign is being done under the nomenclature the winner must govern. He wants 80% of those that will be appointed into top governmental positions under Joseph Walker to be members of the Unity Party, adding that you can't work and somebody else reap the benefits. According to Stanley Human, 20% of appointed positions should be set aside for CDC and other opposition political parties for the purpose of inclusion. The Faith and Justice Network has committed itself to advocating for accountability in the government of Liberia and the Manon River Basin. Faith and Justice Network is an organization committed to upholding justice, fairness, and transparency in the Manon River Union countries. The chairman of the board of directors, Bishop Samuel Choir, who is also the head of the United Methodist Church in Liberia, reiterates that a call for audits by the people of Liberia is not intended as an act of witch hunt or political reprisal, but an essential mechanism to ensure financial integrity and accountable governance. Bishop Choir made the call when he delivered his New Year's message on the theme, Audit is not witch hunt churches, in the Manon River Basin advocate for accountability and transparency in the public sector in Monrovia on Monday. The Faith and Justice Network's board chairman also encouraged a collaborative effort between the government, churches, and civil society organizations in the Manon River Basin to implement comprehensive and transparent auditing processes that uphold the highest standards of accountability. If you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you are listening to a bulletin of news coming to you from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news, authorities of the Liberia Electricity Corporation are predicting significant decrease in power theft this year. This said, this is due to the drop in cases of thefts since the establishment of the Anti-Power Theft Task Force. Speaking in an RCA News interview, the legal aide told the Anti-Power Theft Task Force said, considering the expertise and measures put in place by Madame Mirabro and her technical team, the cases of power thefts have drastically reduced. According to Patrick Zayuman, unlike before when the team used to arrest and report 70 to 100 cases a month, the task force is now reporting around 20 cases a month, adding that this will also open corridor for more revenue generation for government. Sayuman maintained that with the needed support from partners and national government, ADC headed by Monica Tan and the task force under Madam Mirabro remains robust to ensure that citizens comply with policies to curb power theft in the country. A pro-democracy group, the Patriotic Consciousness Association of Liberia, has launched what it calls a campaign to prevent a deputy speaker, Councillor Funati Kofa, from being elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Following the 2023 general elections, members of the House are going to the polls on 15 January to elect a Speaker and Deputy Speaker for the 55th legislature. Deputy Speaker Funati Kofa of the CDC and Unity parties, Rachel Kuhn, are the forerunners for the speakership. But speaking to a team of journalists Tuesday in Monrovia, PACA's National Executive Chairman, Patrick Bay, outlined several reasons for the campaign against Councillor Kofa's bid for Speaker. Bay accused Councillor Kofa of playing double standard with the CDC during the 2023 elections, which led to the defeat of President George Weah and House Speaker Buffer Chambers. Away from Liberia, Israel will appear before the International Court of Justice to contest South Africa's accusation of a genocidal act in Gaza, an Israeli government spokesman has said. On Friday, South Africa filed a case at the RCJ, the UN's principal judicial organ. Following its application to the RCJ, South Africa's presidency said that the country was obliged to prevent genocide from occurring. In response, the spokesman said in a briefing on Tuesday, the state of Israel will appear before the International Court of Justice at The Hague to dispel South Africa's absurd blood libel. Lever is quoted by the BBC as saying, "We assure South Africa's leaders, history will judge you, and it will judge you without mercy." To end this news program, a recap of the top stories. Despite huge public criticisms, President George Weah nominates a Deputy Finance Minister, Samira Wolokoli, as Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority to replace the late Thomas Doe 9. A Liberian clergyman and funder of the Destiny Recovery Program wants the incoming Unity Party's administration to declare the drug epidemic in Liberia as a national emergency. Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction threatens a series of protests in Nimba if the National Elections Commission fails to impartially settle the election dispute case in District Number 4. And away from Liberia, Israel will appear before the International Court of Justice to contest South Africa's accusation of a genocidal acts in Gaza, according to the BBC. That's RCA News Bulletin at 7. My name is Olivia Bowen. Good evening.
starting today. Why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.